Hey VHS! We've all been affected by this construction in many ways. So what's it all for? Today we're going to get you guys some answers.
Approximately for the next 2 years, I believe.
So the tennis courts and the outside construction in Field of Dreams and the baseball field are scheduled to be done by the end of this calendar year, so November, December. So that they will be ready for play in the spring.
I'm probably most excited about the student services area that we're going to develop downstairs, where we're going to have our counselors, social workers, and our student services team together all in one spot.
That's scheduled to actually be done next year at the beginning of the school year. I'm really excited about the multiple learning spaces. So we've got a culinary arts lab that we're building for us. That is due to be completed next year. Major renovation of the cafeteria, the student services area. I mean, they're all going to be really cool spaces. The inspiration actually started several years ago through a process called Blueprint 220. So we used a company to come throughout the whole district and do a needs assessment, not only for things that needed to be repaired, but things that could help to transition us into the next evolution of Barrington 220 education. So of course, we went to the community, had a ton of feedback from them, and ultimately the community voted on a referendum to fund these projects. So it's a big process that led to it, but a lot of input from students and staff and community members and parents for sure. I think something that will be a little less obvious, but one of the focal points when we did a lot of the design work was trying to develop spaces that could be used in multiple formats. So instead of having just a standard cafeteria, the cafeteria is broken into some smaller spaces. So it'll help to make that a little bit more comfortable of a space, but also spaces that can be used after school and throughout the day, not just for lunch periods, for small groups and for students that want to check them out. But really what we tried to do is get that balance. It wasn't just about athletics, it really is about those that are interested in health and wellness and building almost like a health club here at Barrington High School for students. So really excited about opportunities with that. They're going to be totally renovated from top to bottom. So really, next year when we start, we'll have this nice new atrium at the front of the building, and that will be common area for lunch, opens before school, after school. So parking really depends on the size of the class. So I would anticipate as we look at the numbers, as they finish up the remodeling and renovation of the parking lot, that we'll probably go back to a system that we had back 20 years ago or so. Remember those?
Those are great
20
years.
years ago.
Those are great years.
And in those years, actually, what happened is all of the seniors were able to park in the main parking lot, and then we were able to offer some parking to juniors out in the Field of Dreams lot. So I think we'll probably get closer to that than we have in, 20-ish years. It's been a long time since we've been able to do that. But
new traffic flow and I think new patterns will be a good part of that too, and it is added parking spaces for us.
For sure. For those of you that have had a puppy, construction is like having a puppy. They're cute. You're really excited when you first get them, but occasionally they mess on the floor and you have to clean it up. So it becomes a little bit of annoying. And if your puppy's a little bit rambunctious from time to time, you'll come in and find a pair of shoes chewed or something, and it's really annoying at that point. And I think that's something that we kind of have to get used to, and we're seeing it right now with just the traffic around the building and how we've had to adapt a little bit. And throughout the next 2 to 3 years as we're finishing these projects, we're going to have to adapt to different construction scenarios as they move throughout the building. Try to keep the disruptions to a minimum, but just like that puppy, it's going to be really great at the end once we get things done and trained. But in the meantime, there's going to be some little surprises that come along with it that it'll be worth it in the end, but we just need to be prepared for those, like our current situations with traffic and parking here on campus.
That's a wrap.
And there you have it. Despite all the inconvenience of these school projects, it will improve the school for many generations to come.